Ready, set, start. All right, so for the rough draft of your candy jar with at least 3 different candies and a label, you need to show me a sketch, just in pencil, a light sketch of how the candy jar is going to look, what type of candy you're using, and what your label is going to look like. In the next video, I'll show you how to deal with reflections. Okay, so that's another video. So don't worry about this part yet. That is another video. I just want to show you how to do the sketching part. So in Google Classroom, I attached the sketch I did of this and then the final version of this. So it kind of gives you an idea where I went from there. And then there will be this video. Let me take this part out. All right. So it starts with the candy jar itself. And there's different types of candy jars, right? So I kind of want to start with that. Let's start with the most basic, which is the one I just showed you, where it's more squarish, but it's rounded at the corners. So I kind of just put this line here, curve this part, and I'm drawing darker than I normally would so that you're able to see it. And then I get to here and I curve and I put this angle in. I go about as high as here, get to here, I put this curve in, and then because most candy jars, even if it's squarish, the top is a circle. And if you look at it, it's not straight across, it's a curve. These are ellipses, right? So we put this curve here, and then we kind of go up. We put another curve, and you're going to see that it's the same curve as here. It doesn't straighten out, so you don't put a curve here and then a straight line here. That doesn't make sense. And then we put the top, which is also like a curve. So it kind of reminds you of an eyeball, but it's going to be curved at your corners. Okay? So it wouldn't, make sure you don't draw your ellipses like this, where it's curved like this and then it straightens out, or it looks like a rubber band. Yuck. It's more like this. And if I see that in your drawing, I'm going to say, hey, you need to fix your ellipse. Okay? All right, so then there's that part. Whatever angle is here, and see I'm holding my pencil, this is what all artists do. In order to figure out the proportions, they do pencil angles. So I'm going to hold this angle and I go to here and I match that angle. I'll do the same here. Now note, I'm not going to do a straight line down because rounded glass has this curvature happening. Right? So it looks more like this. It gets to here and then it curves. And then whatever angle is here is the same here. Whatever angle is here is the same here. We get to here, we bring this curve up, just like that. All right, it's kind of sketchy right now. All right, so, and then I usually, to indicate the shaping here, I go like this, okay? So from here, you would go ahead and fit, I'll put another curve here because it feels like it needs it, and another circular shape here. All right. Then from here, you start fitting in your candy, right? Now, for mine, it was a Valentine theme, hugs, kisses, and Valentine wishes. So if you go on the internet and you put in, you know, cute sayings, sometimes these things pop up, and they're often themed. So, like be cool, B-E-E-C-O-O-L, right? So be, like, it could be a bee theme, right? And it could be all honey type candy. Right? So you can, if they have all these cute, funny, silly sayings, and you can make the theme that way. Or it's Valentine themed. Or it's Halloween. Right? So you can change the theme of the candy. There's many different types of candies. There's Smarties, right? They have these blow pops, these type of candies, candy cane, so you can figure out the theme from there. Candy corn, we know that, jelly beans, there's all sorts of themes. I showed you in the other ones these 3 basics, peppermint candies, lollipops, and kisses, because once you've learned the techniques from those, you can apply it to any other candy, okay? So anyways, that's how you kind of start figuring out your theme. So go ahead and pick a side where the label is. It should only take up 1/4 of the piece. your label. Don't make it so big we don't see any candy, right? And then from there, and then put what your theme is going to be with some cool saying, and then start fitting in where your candy is going to be, right? And you just fill that up. Now, I realize this is one basic candy jar. It's the squarish kind, but maybe you're kind of like, I don't like that. I want something else. So your basic one is maybe just your traditional round. And I'm going to sketch this out, and then I want to show you a trick. Okay, so this is like one of your basic round, whoops, and you can see it's off-centered, so I'd have to fix that. Your basic round jar. See that? Your basic round jar. And if you're having a hard time making things symmetrical, where like looking at this right now, it's not very symmetrical, it's not very clean looking. There's a really cool trick. You take your paper, you fold it in half, and on one side you draw the jar. So there's many different types of jars that you can look up online. I don't like the kind where it's straight on the bottom. Composition wise, it looks way too still. It's what they say adds depth to a piece, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to try this one. Okay, so I'm going to put that there for now. So I'm going to round the stem, bring that up, bring this part up, make this round jar. I get to here, add the lip, and then the lid. I am going to change the lid because I wasn't that interested. I'm going to make it like a diamond shape on the top. All right, and then you're going to take your scissors and cut it out. Sorry, I didn't have my scissors right next to me. All right, so now I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to use it like a stencil. Give me just a moment. If you've ever had to cut out a heart this way, it's the same idea. It makes it so it's symmetrical on both sides. Okay, hold on. And you can use this for simpler jars, but due to demonstration purposes, I wanted to show you one where it looks more ornate, as they would say, more decorative. Okay, so I just cut this out. Now, one of the things I do to make sure it's in the center is I take my paper and just kind of tip that part, fold that part. All right, and then I have these marks here, and I just line it up with my marks so that it's in the middle, right? And I hold it down, and I trace around. Okay, thank you for being patient. I have to sketch the whole thing out. Sometimes as you put the stencil down, maybe you made a mistake cutting it, and when you lift it up, you're like, oh, this part looks kind of funny, and you could just erase and correct it. Yay! Okay, so to get this going, I would make sure to put this round part here. I'd add a border because this is supposed to be translucent glass. And then another curve because of this section. Another curve, another curve. And then this part I would kind of, I guess, just do that because this is my diamond shape. All right, and then I would fill up my candy from there. Now, when you put the label on, don't do that. I bet looking at it right now, you're thinking there's something wrong with it. Well, it's because it's straight. We see the piece as curved, so that would be wrong. So to get the label in, whatever curve is here, it's the same curve here, straight line down. Again, whatever curve is here, it's the same curve here. So now that label looks more accurate, right? So just kind of be aware of that. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. Artists make mistakes, right? Oh, that looks better. Okay, and then you would start filling up your candy from there, right? And you just kind of keep going with that. I hope this helps you to figure out how to get your rough draft going for the candy. You get to pick your at least 3 different candies that you want to go with your theme. If you want to look up cute saying, you know, sometimes those cute little Valentine card sayings that you used to get in elementary are really fun. Like, you know, you are so smart, right? So if you are so smart, then you would have those Smarty candies in there, right? And maybe a few other different candies. So that kind of goes with that thing. With lettering, whatever curve is here, by the way, you wouldn't just put your letters straight across. That wouldn't make sense. They also have to curve. So I put in guidelines. Think of it like binder paper. You know, binder paper, we have those lines. You put those in, and then you would make sure that your wording curves as well. Okay, so I hope this helps you to figure out how to get this going. You can see in this label I did the same thing. I had to put lines here that matched this line here and the label. That way it all angled correctly. Thank you.